The NAIDOC 2021 theme is Healing Country. Country is the family name of Aboriginal people. While we have individual identifiers, our family name is the country where we were born out of the ground, under a tree, and where we will die and be buried under another tree. We are born out of the ground and bring with us the traditions, language, culture, and trauma buried there through the lives of those who went before us, our ancestors. Our vocation as people of country is to live our life between our two trees in such a way that we honour our ancestors' traditions, reconcile some of the trauma therein, and not to add to what is there by carrying trauma with us when we die. Sorry business that the death of someone is the process of reconciling and resolving issues left undone so that it is not carried into the future. Country is not just about dirt. It includes all we share our space with, all our kin, our cousins, trees, flora, fauna, waterways, landscape and more. We are to live out the custodial ethic of responsibility and reciprocity with all. We are responsible for their well-being, and they are responsible for ours. We do not take more than we need. We do not destroy or dig up what is unnecessary to ensure the well-being of all. By being born out of the ground under a tree, we carry country in our body. Our body is country, and we can never be off country. Wherever we are, we have a custodial responsibility for the country we carry with us and the country we walk on. This short description of country, outlined more fully in my book On Being Blackfella's Young Fella, is Being Aboriginal Enough, sets up the theme and our response to it. It is our custodial responsibility to heal country, both internally and externally, both latecomers and First Peoples. It is not just our responsibility as First Nations people, because we all live out of the dreaming that comes with our birth on our country. Those who come from other places, first generation or sixth generation, hold in their bodies the dreaming of their ancestors. It comes with them, but they are also of this place, either by birth or by living on country. We are all of this place. Recently, Australia Post has redesigned their packaging for parcels, and they'll leave a space for people to write the name of the Aboriginal country on the address label. Notice Channel 10 Weather this week has used the Aboriginal names for the major cities on the weather map. When children visit the Wominjigga Garden at St Oswald's, I give them a small vial of dirt from the local area and tell them that it holds all they need to know to live custodially on this space. I sprinkle some gently into each child's hand. One 9-year-old, on receiving the dirt, said, "You know what I'm going to do with this dirt?" I said, "No, what are you going to do with it?" She replied, "I'm going to take it home to my grandparents, and I'm going to get them to hold out their hands, and I'm going to put it in them. They are from Italy. I am going to tell them that this is now their country." Taking the idea of carrying country in our body reminds us that we also have a responsibility of living out of our own inner truth and working to resolve that trauma that lives in us, whatever its source may be. A healthy self plays a role in ensuring a healthy country. This is a closed circle of custodial responsibility. Aboriginal people, and for the descendants of those who came here as a result of the invasion and were complicit in the genocide that followed, suffers cross-generational trauma. I hear from non-Aboriginal people horror stories of the past, which remain embedded in them and need to be reconciled for theirs and their families' well-being. Some of this can be done by simply being able to acknowledge what occurred. For Aboriginal people, it is far more complex because it involves loss of home, language, tradition and life. And there is no way back to what is integral to their way of being or seeing. Post-generational trauma is a shared experience. As Christians, a quiet reflection on what I have spoken about may well return us to such as the Ten Commandments, the Beatitudes, the Lord's Prayer, and Jesus' own interpretation of the custodial ethic. Love your neighbours as yourself.